Hello viewers, and welcome to this week's episode of the Live Conversations. This program is brought to you by the Contact Center Association of Zimbabwe in a bid to promote service excellence, customer experience, as well as service delivery. I'm your host, Carol Konje, and as usual, we bring in different customer experience experts into the studio to discuss more of these issues. But today, we would like to talk about the importance of customer experience for startup businesses, for small businesses, as well as for SMEs as well, informal trading. So to discuss more, I have invited into the studio the managing director of Yarutso Car Rental. His name is Victor Madzedze, and he'll be with me today in the studio to discuss customer experience, the importance of it, the value of it for startup businesses. Victor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Carol. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
How is Yarutso? How is business?
It's okay. It's fine. We're a fledgling business. Yeah.
All right. So let's just get into our program. How would you define a startup business?
Okay. So the term startup is widely used in developed countries, in developing countries. But pretty much a startup is a company that is in its infancy stage. Right. So this is a company, that is probably has 1 to 5 employees. A company that is trying to find its way to find its capital. But this is a company that has already launched. So it's infancy, initial stage, but a company that is really making those steps to becoming a big company. That is what we call a startup.
All right. So why is it most startup they fail to execute great customer experience strategies?
There are a number of reasons why small companies really fail to execute customer experience. But what I would say is maybe let's start with what is customer experience in the first place, so that we see if they're doing it or if they're not doing it. Right. In my vision, customer experience is the journey that a customer goes through, from the point they want to make a purchase, right? So even if before they've bought a product or used your service, the moment they're trying to find information about you, the customer experience journey is actually started, right? So then from there, you're looking at when they come to you and they use your services, how they feel, how you treat them, also encompasses what we call customer experience. And more importantly, when they leave you, right? So after they've used the service, so let's say your hotel or a car rental or whatever product that you're providing to the market, when they've left, what they call post purchase dissonance, what they go through after a purchase, you should also be with them, in various ways or capacities. So customer experience is the journey in which a customer goes through in buying a product from you or using your service. So the reason why a lot of companies fail to do this, especially small companies per se, is that maybe let's start with one reason. A lot of startup companies focus on the transaction, right? Or the focus on the short term instead of the long term. What do I mean? Let's say someone patronizes with the car rental company like us. When they come, they rent a car from you, then they go. If the car maybe, let's say, is a tire puncture, or the car maybe for some reason stops working, right? A lot of small businesses will say, find your way. I don't know how you do it, but maybe change a tire there, then come back. Then bring our car back. They're not exactly involved in how the customer's experience goes through. But what you find is a great customer experience means, you would actually have to go. Let's say the customer is in Gweru, right? They've rented a car from you. They've gone to Gweru, right? Then the car stops working in Gweru. You may actually need to find yourself going to Gweru so that you help your client, right? If you're going with, let's say, road assistance. If you're going with a mechanic, right, to go and help the client, and you're even taking another car to them, so that when you get to them, they take the fresh car, they go, then you sort out the business of the dead car, right? But the problem with this is that road assistance is expensive. Going with the mechanic is expensive. taking another car to them is expensive. So startups then say, but no, this customer experience thing is expensive. Why should we do it? The customer should find a way from there. Then they should just come back to us. So the reason that startups fail to execute great customer experience is what the focus on the transaction. A car has been rated for $200, and you want to keep that $200 so badly that you don't even care what happens to the client. Whereas customer experience means sometimes it's more important to even let go of the small money that you've made just to make sure that the customer's experience is not faulted, is not altered. The customer actually has a beautiful experience by using a product and service.
Okay, so apart from maybe startup businesses focusing on the transaction, like you said, are they even aware of what customer service really is? Is there some kind of training when you want to start your business? Is it part of some consultancy that you go through when you want to set up a business? Are you aware?
You're right to say that there's possibly a lack of awareness, especially the values or the benefits of executing customer experience strategies. I get the sense that if you're going to do a survey right now and ask a number of startups or small businesses if they actually are aware that there is value in executing, you find that maybe there's a big information gap there, right? The reason why they're not aware is pretty much possibly they need to do some training, but again it goes back to the issue of funding, to say, yes, we know there's something called customer service, we know there's something called customer experience, but it's not dura. Do you get what I mean? So I don't know to say maybe as a pathway or as a journey to helping small businesses find their fit with customer experiences, maybe organizations like yourself ought to go into the startups and have packages for them, that say you will not charge you the same value that we charge a blue chip company or a listed company when it comes to customer experience training, right? We will also have small packages for startups that they ought to take up and find value, as they grow their businesses.
All right, so using Yarutso Currento as a case study,
okay,
what have you done to ensure that you promote customer experience within your organization?
To tell you the truth, for us, our journey is purely, been greatly supported by customer experience, whether we know it or we don't. Right? So for example, if you come to our company, we are one of the few mobility companies in this country that actually take customer experience seriously. Right? For starters, pre-coming to us, we actually make sure that all the information is available. What is it that you need when you're renting a car? Deposit, age of license. We are actually quite, so we don't do hidden costs. We are very clear that a deposit is this much, the age of the driver is this much. To rent a car from us, you need this. So pre-coming to us, we've actually put in place a number of measures so that the customer, when they're looking to make an inquiry, that part is covered. When they come to us, we try by every means to make sure that we are the nicest, politest company out there. So when someone comes to us, they always say, you guys are very nice. We talk to you very nicely. We take you through the issues to do with contracts, to do with, when you are not satisfied with the certain item. Let's say you're renting a car from us and you think maybe the spare wheel doesn't have pressure. We are happy to say, ma'am, give us 5 minutes, we'll go put pressure in the spare wheel so that when you go, you don't have any problem. Right? And post, right, after the rental is done, when you've brought back a car to us, we are very, very, look, our customer satisfaction index, not to make our own parade, but somewhere around 90%. Our customer retention rate, anyone who's had a car from us since the year we started has come back to us. Why? Because our customer happiness index is big, right? We make follow-ups. I say, what did you think about our car rental? Do you have anything that you are happy to tell us? So we take feedback. So someone will tell us, look, you guys are small, but I think you should start looking into the SUV category cars, right? That's feedback from a client. What do? We invest in procuring SUV cars. The client that gave us that feedback will be the first to rent that SUV from us. So we take our customer experience very seriously, we take feedback seriously, we take our customer index very seriously, we take client retention very seriously. And these are some of the things that we've put in place to make sure that our customers' happiness is at the utmost.
All right. Let's talk about CEOs, managers for startup businesses, for formal businesses, and for informal businesses as well. I think maybe you may need to answer for the informal as well.
Hopefully, I know I can.
Yes, because for example, you know, there are informal traders out there. They are vendors. They are maybe I own a tuck shop. You know, it means I'm a CEO of that tuck shop.
100%.
Exactly. So whenever someone comes to purchase, that person requires a good customer experience, right? So, but what can be done for them to take customer service very seriously, and despite them being informal, because customer service it's just how you make someone feel. It doesn't matter whether the business is formal or informal. What do you think can be done?
For me, whether you're small or you're big, whether you're informal or you're formal, whether even you're a freelancer, you know, as long as you're dealing with a third party, I think what is critical, absolutely critical, is to realize that there's more value in a long-term transaction, right, than a short-term transaction. So a lot of companies, you know, I'll go back to the point I've made initially. They make the mistake of wanting to make money from the first transaction. So even at a tuck shop level, right, or even at a musica level, right, if a customer comes to you and wants to patronage with your business, right, you ought to try and make them feel good, even if it sometimes is a bearing on your money, even if it means you're losing money. So for example, you know, it's very basic steps. But tax shop chap, right? Someone comes wants to buy 2 kgs of rice, right? And if they paid they have $5, right? And there's change, for example. It's that simple step of taking a book and writing that Victor Madeze bought rice and I have left change of $3, right? And when they go, right, and a couple of hours later, you call them, "Hi, Mr. Madeze, your change is now ready." Patakshoba. Your change is now ready, right? You will be astonished, you know, with how Mr. Madeze would feel. You know, Mr. Madeze will probably say, you know, this tuck shop deserves to be big. You know, this young man running this tuck shop deserves to work in these big retail companies, because these big retail companies don't even have the quality of service that this young man has. You know, such little steps, you know, knowing every customer of yours by name, right? What we call customer relationship management and data harvesting, right? To say, yes, you are running a tuck shop in Kwazana, in Kwazana 2, so the entire Kwazana 2 is your catchment. Do you have the numbers of all the people that buy at your tuck shop? You know, if you have their numbers, are you able to say, when you have new stock, you know, you could say Huggies Pampers are now here, and you send to these people. You're a tuck shop, and someone is already stressed about where they'll find their Huggies Pampers, and you're now coming out as the solution at a tuck shop level. This is what we mean by customer experience, you know, and you find that any size of business can actually achieve this, you know, if they actually just put their mind to say, it's not about the $2, it's not about the $100 that the customer has come and spent on me. As a matter of fact, one of the things that people actually need to learn is that the value of a client increases as they keep on patronizing with your business. So for example, if a client comes to you and uses your service for $50 today, then they come back next week, and over the next 2 years, they keep coming to you. you find that $50 becomes 3,000, 4,000 that they've spent with your business. But if they come one time and they spend $50 with you and they're disgruntled, they're not going to come back to you. But I can guarantee you one thing. Someone is going to, next week when they need a service, they're going to give business to someone. So it's your job internally is in coming up with a competitive advantage to be able to make sure that every time that person needs a service, they come back to you. So it's now incumbent on you as a startup, as a blue chip, as an informal trader, as a tuck shop, to have strategies that ensure that this person will find reason to keep patronaging the business. This is what we call perpetual life value of a client. To say, anytime I want to buy rice, I go to Carol's tuck shop. Anytime I want to rent a car, I go to your car rental. You know, you find that there's more value in this. And let me also add on to say, what people ought to know is that the average individual uses more, especially in countries like Zimbabwe. They actually interact with startups and informal businesses more than they do with big companies on a daily basis. What do I mean? When you want to buy vegetables, you likely go to a small business. When you want to buy meat, you likely go to a small business. When you want to use a taxi, you likely go to a small business. When you go, when you're going home for transport, you likely use a small business. So what you find is small businesses are the backbone of the economy. So people interact more with small businesses than they do with large companies. People actually, as a share of wallet, you find that the small businesses have more share of wallet on someone's salary than big businesses. So it's then incumbent on small businesses to have these strategies to make sure that the people that come to them are happy, because these people come to you. I don't know if I've answered you adequately.
Yeah. All right. This is the Live Conversations brought to you by the Contact Center Association of Zimbabwe. And today in the studio, I am with Victor Madzedze. He is the managing director for Yaruto Car Rental. He's also a startup businessman. And today we're talking about customer experience for startup businesses, for small businesses, as well as for informal businesses as well. All right. There's a myth that customer experience strategies are expensive. Isn't it just a myth? I don't think it's expensive.
Are they not?
No, they're not, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. For me, it depends how you want to look at it. Right. Of course, the issues to do with, coming up with a strategy, executing it, and launching it, obviously that is a bit pricey if you think about it, because for starters, if you want to set up a contact center at your whether a small businesses, you want to have someone who be on the contact center, they need a laptop, they need earphones, they need to be responsive to client. So of course it could appear like a cost, setting up contact centers, running loyalty programs. I mean, loyalty programs can also appear costly, because if you rent a car from me for 10 days, or if you stay in my hotel for 10 days, right, then I will give you an additional free. It means that you have traded in that 1 day of occupancy for free instead of money. So of course, executing these things appears expensive. However, I'm an advocate for long-term value. So I always say, what is the harm of spending $5,000 on great customer experience strategies, setting up a contact center, running loyalty programs, getting contact center personnel? What is the cost of that compared to how much value these things will make? So that is the gospel maybe that we need to deem it. To say, yes, it may appear expensive to make the installations, the trainings, they may appear expensive, but the value, the perpetual life value of these strategies is big time. I mean, look, there was a study that I recently read that 2,000 startups were interviewed, and they all said that within the next 3 years they want to beef up their customer experience strategies, because they believe that $1 spent in customer experience has a 10x effect on the growth of the company. You know, so if I spend, you know, $100 or $2,000 setting up a customer service center, that customer service center as a cost center in the long run will create $20,000, $30,000, because your customers are now being called, your customers are now being helped, your customers are now finding value. So I think it depends where you're looking, which city you're looking at. If you're looking from a short term, of course it's expensive. But if you're looking from a long term, then it's a minute expense in the long run. So
yeah, all right. So some proponents say customer experience is one of the best ways to grow a startup from a new baby into a blue chip company. Is there any merit to this?
Yes, 100%.
Why?
There's merit because let's go back to what we call a customer satisfaction index. Right. This is when someone patronizes with your business and they are happy. Believe me, you, $10,000 spent on an advert can never beat a happy customer. Because a happy customer will tell everyone, you know, you are looking for a place to stay in Bulawayo.
Yeah.
There's this place. These guys are amazing. You know, there's this place. These guys are amazing. You know, in my own experience running my car rental business, one client, let's say coming from the UK, if they come here and they rent a car from you, let's say they're coming, we take the car to them to the airport. You know, and when they get to the airport, we say no, we'll pay your parking fees right at the airport. They're happy, they're astonished with how we pay their parking fees, right? Because for us it's a customer experience strategy. When they go, their 10-day rental, 12-day rental, and they go back to the UK, you'll be surprised within the next month the number of people the number of Zimbabweans in the UK that text you saying, "Hi, Mr. Manzizi, I've been referred by Tafara, who rented a car from you when they came to Zimbabwe a month ago." They can get to 20 people in the UK that have been referred by one person. It's almost like when after they get back to the UK, they write in a group that, guys, when you're going to Zimbabwe, please use these guys because these guys gave me an astonishing experience. Right. So look at the good to great leap. One customer is happy, refers 20 clients. The multiplier effect. You know, you can't even achieve this kind of numbers by a radio advert. You know. So customer experience is absolutely critical. So imagine if one client is a 20x effect on the number of clients that come to you. Imagine if you satisfy 200 clients. You'll be swimming in clients, you know. You'll be swimming in inquiries, you know. Your own capacity will not be enough to satisfy the number of people that are coming to you. This is how you can actually develop a business case to take to investors to say, guys, I have 1,000, 2,000 inquiries a week on people who want to use Yarutoka rental, for example. Can I please get funding so that we buy more cars and we invest in this business? So what's happening now? When you're sitting on 2 cars, you get investors, they give you money to buy 3 cars. You now have 5. You now have 10. You're now actually setting up a company that it needs more personnel. You've set up a company that needs more cars. You've set up a company that, so all these things have multiplied to creating a big company. Because there's that one client that is satisfied, that has kept on referring people. You know, so for me, customer experience strategies are actually possibly the secret sauce to turning a company from a startup into a blue chip company. And any CEO, any managing director, have you not had stories, Carol, of a guy in Kwazana who was running a tuck shop, who now runs 4 large wholesale stores? These things happen because the people who were supporting his tuck shop, when they were happy, they kept coming until he needed a big shop, until he needed a wholesale, until he needed 4. So whilst all other aspects of the business are critical, how you price and all that, customer experience is possibly the only thing that can guarantee you a going concern and that can actually grow your company. Yeah. So
yeah.
so I'm an evangelist for customer experience.
All right. Okay. So as we come to the end of our program, what would be your message to startup businesses, to informal traders as well, to vendors, to anyone who is into business, who is a service provider? What would be your message to them regarding them being customer experience personnel or drivers for customer experience, or make it a culture despite them being small? Because like I said during the discussion, that normally people think they deserve customer service when they go to big companies, but they don't know that when they board a bus, they deserve customer service. When you go to a local tuck shop, you deserve customer experience. So what's your message?
My message is possibly a summary of what I've been saying the entire show. To say there is more value in a happy customer. So as an organization, startup, informal, big, it's more important to make sure that when someone walks into your door, you make them very happy, such that when they go, they come back. There is very little value in focusing on that $1 or $2 that they've brought in. But there's more of rather, if I were you, spend that $2 that they've given you in making them happy, so that next time they'll give you 10. So for me, the story is short-term transactions do not have value compared to long-term customer experience, which will ensure that your business continues to thrive in the future. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Carol, for the platform.
All right. That was Victor Mazedze, is the managing director for Yarutso Car Rental, and we've been talking about the importance of customer experience for startup businesses and as well for informal traders. Thank you so much for watching the program, and if you've missed any of our programs, you can also go to our YouTube page, that is CCAZ, and watch more of our shows. They are also on our Facebook page. You can as well like, comment, share. You can also give us feedback as well in our inboxes, and we'll take it very seriously. Thank you so much, and we meet next week for a more insightful topic. I'm your host, Carol Konje. Goodbye.